This is 3 minutes inside Torah. In this week's Parsha, God descends on Mount Sinai and gives the Torah to the Jewish people. God revealed himself and transmitted the Ten Commandments directly to the Jews. The Lubavitcher Rebbe explains that prior to Mount Sinai, the commandments or mitzvot that the forefathers observed were limited in power and could only affect the spiritual realm. Their actions, while utilizing physical objects, could not imbue the physicality with spirituality or holiness. The mitzvot given at Mount Sinai, however, had the power to integrate spirituality into the physical world. This ushered in a new era where human interaction with the physical world could now cause holiness to bind to it and uplift it. When using the physical world, including our own bodies, to perform mitzvot, spirituality does not remain aloof, but actually permeates the physicality, elevating it and making it a conduit for God's light. At Mount Sinai, God put an energy into the mitzvot which transcended the limitations of both physicality and spirituality, and therefore could bind them. The Rebbe tells us that this is alluded to in the first three words of the Ten Commandments, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Hashem your God. The name your God is from the word Elohim, which represents the divine element in the physical world. Elohim is plural, signifying the godliness which pervades the multiplicity in nature. Being the lowest and most constricted expression of divinity, it is this aspect of God which can actually be grasped through human intelligence. Therefore, Elohim is the only name of God which takes a possessive form. Elokecha, your God, Elokeinu, our God, etc. Elohim also shares the same numerical value of the word hateva, or nature, further hinting to its connection to the natural world. The name Hashem is the four-letter name of God, Yud He and Vav He. It is an amalgamation of the verb to be in past, present, and future tense. Just as past, present, and future are distinct times which cannot coexist, so too this name signifies the aspect of God limited to the spiritual realm, completely above and beyond time and limitation of nature. So, what force defies the limitations of both spirituality and physicality, allowing them to fuse? It is the I in I am Hashem your God. I is that expression of divinity so sublime that it cannot even be described by a name. It is completely unrestricted, not contained either by the limitations of the natural world nor by the spiritual one. Defying all limits and definition, this power can merge heaven and earth. The sages teach, however, that the word used for I, Anochi, is not actually a Hebrew word, but rather an Egyptian word. How can it be God would use a word to signify his most transcendent essence from the language of the most debased culture at that time? How could it not come from the holy tongue? The Rebbe explains that this is the central message of giving the Torah, that even the aspects of life furthest from holiness, the Egypts of the world, can now be and should be infused with godliness. Such a radical idea could only be possible using the most transcendent power of God, which defies nature and definition, to reach those farthest places and elevate them. After Mount Sinai, no arena or sphere of life is out of the bounds of holiness. Indeed, the most sublime power of God is only truly revealed when we bring holiness and divine light to the darkest recesses of the physical world, and by doing so, elevate them and illuminate them as a vessel for God's will.